Hi guys, it's Trish back with another video for you here. We're going to make some fun silver silk earrings today. We're just going to make some fun and easy earrings today. So what I've got here is our silver silk. I've got some 4mm fire polish. I've got some slide ends that I'm going to use on the top of the earrings, and then just some 26 gauge wire. I chose rose gold because I'm going to be using pink in my bracelet, so that'll coordinate well here. So the first thing you want to do here, guys, is just take your silver silk and you want to measure it at 2 4.5-inch pieces. Okay, so I have a little measure down here. I'm just going to measure that at 4.5, and then you're just going to take your cutters, trim, and then you can just use this piece even just to measure the other one, so you know you are exact. And so we're going to go right there. So now we have 2 4.5-inch pieces, and I'm going to cut this strand of 4mm fire polish and get those out so I know I have them ready to go when I am. The first thing I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to show you how to put the tops onto your silver silk. What I like to do is just kind of squeeze the wire, bring that up there, that's at the base of the top bead in, and I push it down just slightly so I can make sure and slide my, you can cut any that's kind of just loose there hanging or pull it out just to kind of get that wire moved down and tightened into underneath that first bead. Okay, and a lot of times I'll just take my tweezer no pliers in there and just kind of push it and squeeze it so I can make sure everything's kind of out of the way and down. Okay, so I'm going to do that on the other side the same way. I'm just going to go in there and squeeze, start working down my wire. You can even take your cutters in there if you feel like you have excess. Don't cut your chain, just cut your wire around so you can get it into position. And we're just pushing, taking my thumbnail in there and just kind of pushing down and kind of twisting the wire just to get it to hold on to there but not be in the way of your top. Okay, so there we have our two ends ready to go. So I'm just going to take my little slide, and you can go back, guys, and just kind of make that a little bit neater later if you want to. I'm just going to take my little slide here, and I'm going to slide it over the first bead that we exposed and push that over, and then slide it over the second bead that we exposed. And we're just going to, sometimes you have to kind of finagle because the wire there. And then usually what I'll do is I'll just take this and turn it over and close the end of that clasp with my desk because it kind of hurts my fingers when I do it with my fingers. So there you go. It's just that simple. So now we have our earring base ready to go. All right, so continuing our piece, I've cut about a 13-inch piece of 26 gauge wire. And what I'm going to start by doing is just taking this piece of wire, the end here, and I'm going to lay it over top of where that the top bead is there, okay, on the one side. And I'm just going to wrap my wire up and through because I want to get a good hold of the materials before I start doing adding the beads, you know. So I'm just going to wrap that around 2 to 3 times there at the top just to secure everything. Okay. And then once I have that wrapped and secured the way I want it, so you can see I've put wraps there, I'm just going to kind of squish them together a little bit, not too crazy because you don't want to move your silver silk. And then I'm just going to push that wire around to the back, and we'll cut that once we get a few rows put in. Okay, so we're going to go through the silver silk between the first and the second ball. We're just going to take the end of our wire and put it through there. Okay, just kind of wiggle it through. And you're going to gently push your wire through there. So you're going in between the two very tip-top balls in the ball chain and through the mesh, okay? So now we're through there. Now we're going to add a few 4mm fire polish. Let's just do one to start with, the tip top, okay? Just lay it across there, and you're going to go through the exact same place that you did on the other side, through those top two balls from the ball chain, okay? So I'm just going to push that through and kind of guide it. I don't want it to get kinked up, so I'm kind of being very careful the direction my wire's going, kind of twisting it so it's going to go through correctly. And then we have our first bead. Okay, so next we're going to go through the next set between the next balls 2 and 3. We're going to go between those and through the mesh, and we're just going to pull that down, okay, just like so. See how there's a loop there? We're just going to pull that snug, and we're going to add 2 beads. Okay, let's do 2. Yeah, that's going to be pretty, because what I'm looking for, guys, is I kind of want it kind of loopy as it goes down, kind of like a swag, kind of. I don't want it to be absolutely straight. That's what I'm going for, okay? So on the other side, go between, with your wire, go between the ball chain and through the mesh. Okay, and again, just make sure as you're pulling your wire, you're keeping it straight. You don't want it to get kinked and messed up and make your earrings all warped, and just won't be pretty. So there we have our first and second row. So then we're going to go through the next set between 3 and 4 on the same side and pull our wire. And add a few more beads. Let's do 3 this time. And the nice thing about it being kind of swagged is you can add a few more beads in, as opposed to if it was straight. You'd only be able to add just exactly what would fit in there. All right, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm just going to audition this and make sure this is going to look how I want it to look. Or if it's too much, because it's going to be going up there. I think we're going to be okay. So we'll do we did 1, 2, and 3 so far. And back up in between the same balls on the right side in the ball chain. Okay. Just like so. See how we're doing there? And we'll do 1 more. We're going to go between 4 and 5. And slide our wire through. And be careful how we're going to get our side there. Make sure we're hooked and not warped. Okay, good. Come on in. Sometimes you have to kind of finagle it a little bit, pull your wire out, straighten it out again, get everything in order. Want everything to be very pretty on the sides because we don't want to take away from the beautiful silver silk. All right, and let's add 4 this time. And you can do this with 4mm, 3mm. You could even use 6s. But you would get quite a few less beads in it, but you would have the bigger beads in it. All right, so there's our 4. And then we're going to go through between the 4th and the 5th. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, just making sure here. Yep, I'm good. Because I don't want them to go at an angle or anything. That would kind of be not pretty. So I'm just going to pull that through, guiding that wire. All right. And then we're just going to kind of adjust it as we do. And that shows you where we're at so far. So I'm going to do a few more rows here, guys, and then I'll be back to discuss how to finish it. Okay, so I put on my last 2 rows. As you can see, we have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the beads go in that order as well. You have 1 bead, 2 beads, 3 beads, 4 beads, 5 beads, 6 beads. So it makes it kind of simple to put together. So I have come through this other side to the left side here with my wire. Now we're just going to finish off, and all I'm going to do is do the same thing that I did at the top, guys. I'm just going to wrap this wire around and push it up through the middle and just give myself a couple wraps to secure it. And you'll see it kind of goes out of shape, gets weird when you're working with it, but the nice thing about this being made with wire and silver silk is you can manipulate it, because the silver silk is wire and chain as well. So we're just going to pull that up through the center and just wrap it to the back. And I'm going to trim that off and just push my little wire down there just to make sure I don't poke anyone for sure. Okay. And then I'm going to reshape this the way that I want it, get it kind of manipulated the way that I want it to look, because now that we're not going to be wrapping, we'll be able to keep it in that shape pretty much. Okay, just kind of doing the adjustments. Now, you have a wrap of rose gold wire here and here. You can go on the other side and do that as well, because then you'll have 2 matching sides. So you can just go on, wrap a little rose gold at the top and a little bit right there where it stops, and they will be perfectly matching. All you have to do now, guys, is take an ear wire and hook it onto the finding here. And that is one of your earrings made with your silver silk and Czech glass. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.